So, Joseas, I wanted to ask you about the issue of Amaya attending Summit. When she was attending Summit, there was a point at which you agreed for her to continue attending that school. Is that right?
No, I never agreed to it. What happened was she said, "Mom, please let me go to that school," and I said, "No, that's not our religion." And she said, "Just until the next break," and that was the agreement, that the next school break that they were going to take is when she was supposed to stop going, basically.
Do you have any communications with the department in which you indicated you were only agreeing for her to attend until the next school break?
No, because I never wanted her to attend. The only reason I told her that verbally is because she's my daughter and she was crying, and you guys made her beg me for this because you're crooks. And if I was Muslim, it'd be a totally different story. If I was Muslim, you guys would be sued already. But no. Your social workers kept asking me to let her go to Christian school, which was stupid. But they would never email it to me. They would just verbally tell it to me as a form of, intimidation and antagonizing. So that's the reason she was left in that school for so long, because they knew I didn't want her to be in it.
Let me ask you then about, pardon me, I have to exhibit, I believe it's exhibit 107. So let me pull, what the heck?
Give me that one. No, give it. No.
I'm going to show you what is marked as exhibit 107, which has previously been admitted. And here we are on January 6, 2021. Well, let me pan through this whole document. So this exhibit contains a long email from Emily Bajer to you about your concerns about Amaya attending a Christian school are being heard. There's a discussion about it.
No, do you know that you're supposed to have a court order before she attends any private school?
But you just said that there was nothing done in writing.
The crime was already committed before you asked me about the Christian school. You guys already committed a crime, so.
So said, I would like to confirm you're okay with maintaining her enrollment at that school. Then you said here she can stay in the school, but it says under federal law that that the school must teach her your religion.
Yeah, and they didn't ever do that. They actually never stopped teaching her religion, period.
Did you ever inform the department of what your religion was?
I said I don't want my daughter learning Christianity. The Constitution says I'm allowed to not have religion in my daughter's life or not be a part of religion. The government cannot force me to be a part of Christianity just because, my daughter's in a foster home.
No, I understand that, but here you were saying she can stay there as long as...
No, here's what you're not understanding is I didn't read the law at that point, okay? Now that I read the law, I know that what you were doing, what all of you were doing, was just what I didn't want, to antagonize me. You weren't doing it because you care about Amaya. You were doing it to antagonize me because you think it's funny to push my buttons, okay? So what you did is you said, oh, well, we'll just see if she could stay. Okay, then we'll make her stay. But what you're not realizing is you broke the law already. You're supposed to have a court order to put her in any private school. I think you know that. If you don't know that, then you should know that. So what you did is you broke the law first. I didn't even know you broke the law. And I never knew that you could force my child into Christianity. And I found out that you can't. It is against the law. And so when I read the law, I realized, oh my God, they're doing this on purpose. They think it's funny. They want to force my kid into Christianity because they're mad they got sued or whatever. And so that's how she stayed in Christian school for 2 years, because you're mad you got sued. And that's sad because I didn't think I had a right to take her out at first. I thought I didn't have a right to. When I found out and read the law and saw that you guys are breaking the law and the Constitution, then I flipped out. So basically, you were manipulating me into thinking that you had some kind of power, and you didn't. None of you do. I retain full custody of Amaya right now today, and I always have. So that means I get to make decisions about her education, and you tried to hide it from me for 4 months.
So in this email,
and it said on the foster care agreement, I didn't want her attending religious activities. You saw that. So then why would you put her in a Christian school? You know what I mean? I already said don't do it, and you did it.
So why was Amaya placed in that school to begin with?
Because the foster parents are mentally retarded and they can't read. I don't know. I didn't put her there. I didn't even know she was there until December. They hid her backpack from me, and the guy said I wasn't allowed to talk about school during the visits. He told me and Amaya we're not allowed to talk about school. So we never talked about school until I found her backpack. And then I got kicked out the office.
Who told you you were not allowed to talk about school with Amaya?
Olive Crest. Jeffrey Falzone told me that.
And what is his role in the dependency?
Well, he knew that I didn't want her learning Christianity because he monitored our visits. Come here, Mama. What's wrong? Come here. He monitored our visits. And stop it, Mama. And he heard me and her arguing about praying and stuff. Mama, take this. Take this. Look. Look. Thank you. Okay. And he saw that I was upset about her praying and going to church, and he wrote it down in his visit notes. And then when she started at that school, he knew that she was at that school, obviously, because he picked her up from that school to bring her to my visits. But that was when the first week of September, he said, I don't want any talk about school during the visits. And I thought it was because I was suing everybody. So I didn't think it was a big deal. I thought, okay, they just don't want me to find out who the foster parents are. So I did what he said. But really it was because I was in a Christian school, or she was in a Christian school.
And when did this occur?
The first week of September.
Go ahead.
Of 2020.
And who is this Jeffrey? He was a visit monitor?
He works for Mama. Yeah, he works for Olive Crest.
Did you ever ask the department if it was okay for you to discuss Amaya's school with her?
Okay. Jamal wrote instructions on the foster care agreement, and on the foster care agreement it says do not teach Amaya religious activities, or do not take her to religious activities. They knew that. Jamal knew that. Julie knew that. And Shay knew that. They all knew that I said don't teach her how to pray, don't teach her, and I said don't take her to church. So why would I be okay with them going to a Christian school?
And what is this foster care agreement that you're referring to?
It's it's in my exhibits. It was signed on 6/20. Was it 6/20/6/20? Jamal wrote it, I guess. Some kind of agreement. I don't know. When she was placed there, I guess. I don't know. Mama.
Okay.
Here. No. Here.
So let me look at another exhibit here, 126.
Mama.
Actually, pardon me, I'm going to look at another exhibit.
And I asked them to take her out of that school on the day I found out. And they never did. She didn't ask me till months later if she could stay, because I didn't think I had any power after that.
And then this exhibit 139, you said that any school she goes to will sue that school.
Yep.
Why did you say that?
Because I mean it. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I'll sue Snoqualmie School District. Any school.
Why?
Because you guys don't have a legal right to have her. You have to have my signature on a court order to have my daughter. It says it in the law.
So whether the school was Christian or not, you would sue them?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I told the Christian school from the first day that I found out she was in that school to take her out. And I always said, that's not our religion. Please take her out. And they never did. So I always kept my, foot down with them. And then with you guys, I thought, I didn't really know the law, so I didn't know. But I thought you guys were really going to get a court order to try to force her to stay in Christian school. And then when I realized what was happening, I was like, oh my God, like that's the one right that I keep, even though you took her, is my right to like not decide her religion, but at least our religion that we did know should have been maintained. And they never asked me anything about my religion.
Now, Exhibit 149, which I'm pulling up here, was...
Mama, what's wrong, Mama?
So here was a series of emails in which Ms. DeCamp was saying, okay, now that you have said Amaya needs to be removed and changed what you said previously, we are planning to withdraw Amaya from the
Mama. Yeah.
And we'll be holding a shared planning meeting to discuss that transition and how to talk with Amaya about that transition and the necessary planning.
See, that's what I'm talking about. You guys talk like you have control. You have no control. It is my right to decide her schooling and religion. You cannot decide either of those. Unless my abuse had something to do with her schooling or religion, then you can't decide that. She was 5 when she was taken. 5. You don't get to take her to church and all that stuff. You don't.
But in this email, it said the department was going to hold a shared planning meeting to discuss moving Amaya out of that school and how hold on, let me finish, and how to talk with Amaya about the transition. And you didn't attend that meeting. Why didn't you attend that meeting?
There is no discussion. You have to follow the law. The law says a court order prior to enrollment in any private school. That's what the law says. So why would you say, okay, let's keep breaking the law. Let's manipulate her into thinking we have power. And then we'll say maybe she can get taken out of the Christian school. That was another form of antagonizing. That's what they do. She has no right, had no right putting my daughter in that school to begin with. I didn't find out for 4 months. And I would have never known if we had a different visit monitor that day and they let her bring her backpack in. That's the only way I found out. You guys would have never told me. You people are sick. Forcing kids into religion.
You said that when she brought her back in that you weren't allowed to talk about school. How did you learn about the school?
I pulled out her folder and saw the Christian God questions. Who is God? Who is your only God? It was like 50 questions. She barely knew how to read. And they were all about God, Jesus, Adam and Eve. And I just threw up. It was so gross. I could never put my child through that. I'm sorry. That's weird to me.
So when there was going to be this meeting to talk about how to talk with Amaya about the fact that she was being moved out of the school, why didn't you attend that meeting?
She was only in school for 4 months. There's no talking. She did not know God or Adam and Eve or none of that crap before she left. Now she thinks I'm going to hell. So yeah, you guys, that's a big mistake that you made you converted her into a religion at the age of 5 without my permission, without my knowledge. And then you told me, oh, well, let's see if we can, like it's not my choice or something. Like,
no, but this letter said, okay, the department said, okay, we're going to move her and we want to talk.
No, she didn't say, no, she said, let's talk about it and then let's see if that can happen. They never said they were going to remove her. They said they were going to see if that could happen. Like basically letting me know that I don't have a choice.
But this email says...
Order to discuss. Yeah, we don't need to discuss what happens when I say that's not my religion and take her out of that school. You do exactly what I say when I say it. You don't wait months and then say, well, let's see, and then maybe we can do. No, I said no the first time I said no. And it should have happened that day. It dragged on for 2 years not because of me, because I didn't know I had any power. It was because of you.
Amaya had told you before that she wanted to stay in the school, and so you allowed her to stay there for a time.
I didn't allow her to stay there. I said, the next break, she's got to get out of that school. You can't force me into Christianity. I'm not buying it. Sorry.
Okay, so Amaya.
I got you, Mama. What's wrong, Mama? Okay, what? Are you a little brat? I know you are. Go ahead.
So Amaya asked to stay in the school, and you said only until the next break. Is that correct?
I didn't even say that.
Okay, so Amaya said, let's go through the conversation. Amaya said she wanted to stay in the school.
That was 2 months after I told you to get her out of that school, though. Right. That wasn't that month. You should have done it right when I said. As a matter of fact, you should have never put her in it in the first place. The only reason we had the conversation is because I found her backpack. So they would have never told me.
Since Amaya wanted to stay in the school, did you think that it was important to talk with her about why she was being moved?
Hell no. She's a child. Guess what? We had a religion too. Whether you like it or not, she asked me about death. I told her my religious beliefs about death. Now, I don't force my kids into Christianity. I don't force my kids into any religion. And it's not the government's job to do it for me. That's my child I gave birth to. They don't get to decide what the religion of my child is. She was 5.
But did you think it was important to have some kind of discussion with her to explain why she was being moved?
I know, right? Did you think that when you snatched her from school? No. Cut the crap. You guys don't care about anybody's feelings about moving from anywhere. Traumatize my child. You already did traumatize my child.
But wouldn't it be important for you as her mom to talk with her about why she was moving schools?
To this day, she does not know what the word religion means. Right now, today, she doesn't know what religion means. So, no, she needs to be in a school that learns basic math, English, stuff like that. Not, Adam and Eve before 1 + 2. What the heck? She was 5. I mean, they're weirdos, dude. I wouldn't teach any kid that. They need to be enjoying life and not feeling guilty about, crossing the street the wrong way.
Okay. So you attended a doctor appointment for Amaya last week. And what was that doctor appointment about?
When Amaya fell off of her bed and had what's the matter, Mama? Had a traumatic brain injury from falling on the floor from the bed. And I know. I mean, my daughter told me kind of what happened, but basically, her and her sister, they used to fight a lot, but now they just, I don't know if they still fight, but I know that, something happened that morning, and she was hurt, and they didn't get an MRI that morning, so they got it when I told her that it has to be from her hitting her head because she's never had seizures before.
What was the source of this traumatic brain injury?
Well, they have hardwood floors, and my theory is they were horse playing and she fell. She told me that she doesn't know what happened, but that her foster dad heard a thump, and he didn't go in the room right away, but the dog started going crazy and was trying to get in the room, and then he realized that he should probably go in the room after hearing the thump, and then I guess her sister came running out or something. I don't know. Because at first she never told me her sister was even in the room. And then the story changed a few times. So she fell and hurt her head.
Did you discuss at the appointment whether Amaya had a traumatic brain injury?
Yeah, I said she probably fell. That's probably what it's from. There's only 3 causes of a seizure.
And what did the doctor say about the idea of a traumatic brain injury?
She said, okay, she'd do an MRI, and they're scheduled it for it now. I can't believe they didn't do it on the first day.
Did you tell the doctor that that Amaya had a traumatic brain injury as a result of a fight with her sister?
I believe that's what it's from, yes. Because she knew her sister would be mad if she went to another school, and she didn't want to deal with that. Because her sister is extremely jealous of everything that she gets and that she doesn't get. So they fight about, who has what all the time. So it would be cool if Amaya went to another school and she didn't get to go with her. And so that's why Amaya was pushing the school. She doesn't care about that school that much. I mean, I'm sure she liked it, but it wasn't her preference. And I honestly think that Amanda only put her in that school because her daughter asked her to. So for her own child's convenience and her convenience.
Are there any other reasons that you're aware of that Amaya would have been put in that school?
No, because academically she was doing fine. I submitted the exhibit yesterday that proves that her grades were in December 2019, which is 3 months before her removal, she was above average and she was doing fine. And that fax was sent to you guys on the 17th of March in 2020. So she should have been fine unless, you guys traumatized her like you did. That's probably why she forgot a lot of stuff. No, Mama.
Mr. LaRosa, are we done with 149?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Let's see here. For some reason, it's very difficult for me to return and, I think it did it on its own.
Yeah, we're back.
Oh, good. Okay. Let me see one moment. Sorry.
Watch it. Come on, stop. Sit. Oh, man.
A couple of miscellaneous questions here, and then I'll finish up. But you've had the opportunity to appear before the court for review hearings before Judge Ramsire, correct?
What do you mean?
Well, there have been several hearings before Judge Ramsire that took place after the dependency trial. Is that correct?
Where she never filed the documents to the docket, you mean?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Davis, I didn't hear that. Where she never filed the documents, what?
Because I told her that my signature line was missing from the review order, and she said she would file it to the docket, and she never did. Oh, honey, watch out. I got you. Oh, it's okay. Oh. You go. Okay, go. Go. Well, I know. Here. Tutu. Yeah. I do. Oh. Here, Mama. Welcome to my life. What? Here. What's that? Well, go ahead. You want it? Okay, fine. What? Some people are hard to please. Here. What you want? There you go. You happy now? No. Short legs. Okay, come here. Try not to spoil her, but I have to. No. You want me to hold you all day? Okay, let's go, honey. I know you're tired. I know. You're tired, baby. Okay, go ahead. Just there you go. But you want to play with this? There. What's that? Want to put it? Go ahead. No.
Okay, Mr. LaRosse, sounds like that Anya's settled. I think you can go ahead. Ms. Zayas is doing a good job of multitasking.
Okay. You said that your signature line was missing from the review order, but isn't it the case that you have told Judge Ramsar that you will never sign anything?
Yeah. That's why she took it off. Or you took it off for her.
And if you wanted something to happen in the case, you could have asked Judge Ramsar to order that. Is that right?
We're talking about Judge Ramsar here, the one who told me that it's okay for people to commit forgery and, force my child into a dependency because she, if it were true, missed a few days of school and misbehaved in class, which is unlawful, unjust, and mentally retarded. So I don't really try to please Judge Ramsar like you guys do.
Well, I'm not asking about you trying to please her, but about you asking her to order something in the case. Did you ever ask her to order something in the case?
Has she ever done anything for me?
Well, to do something for you, you'd have to ask her to do it, right?
No, when I filed a motion, she said, you didn't do it right, and then ignored me. So I asked for change of judge about 1,000 times. I was ignored. So I think I asked for it to be dismissed like 6 times. I found it in the discovery last night. There's nothing else I would ask for but that.
Well, what about when you had a lawyer? When you had a lawyer, they could have filed it correctly, couldn't they?
My lawyer never did anything I asked him to do. He lied. He told you to continue for many more months because I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. Like, I don't get it. You guys are like, because when someone does services and complies, you drag it on further and further. You don't end it. You just keep going and going because somebody up there, like at the top, is like, something's wrong. Something is, I don't know. I could not go into someone's house that I don't know and say, give me your child. I'm taking your child away for no reason that you hurt the child, but just because we don't like what you're doing in your own personal social life. So now we're going to keep your child away from you for 3 years. And that child's going to cry every night for you for 3 years. And we're going to force that child out of your life. You got to have a real mental instability to work and do that for a living.
When you're saying that Amaya was removed because the department didn't like what you were doing in your personal life, what do you mean?
It's none of your business. It's my urine and the contents of my urine are nobody's business. You guys don't care about drugs. If you did, you would test for marijuana. You don't test for marijuana. You make money from marijuana. The government takes 85% of weed sales and then takes children from high parents that they supposedly deserve to have their rights terminated, but only certain drugs, though. You guys don't make no sense.
In this dependency, the department has provided you with financial support for
I'm not taking that
transportation,
anymore.
but it has been provided so far. You've been given Visa cards and gas cards to help you
come to the visits.
Pay for gas. Sorry?
Come to the visits, not for anything else, just to come to see my daughter. That's it.
Well, was there anything in the agreements that indicated that you could not use it to attend services?
I never did attend services. I was driving an hour to the visit and an hour back for like 6 months. So it took up 2 days. I wouldn't have been able to do that anyway. And even if I wouldn't do services. God, services are like, that's like asking me if I'm like, do you want to continue like the warfare? Do you want to lose your child? Come on, let's do services. I'm not stupid. I did services for 6 years and I still lost my kids. I will never do services, ever. That's an intentional torture tactic from Black people. I don't do services. Huh. My friend got her kids back in 6 months without doing any services. 6 kids. She's Black though, that's why.
Pardon me.
Hey, Mama. Hey, Mama. Stop it, Mama. Oh, she got my microphone. Oh, boy. Come on. No. 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 Stop it. Hey, no, Mama. Mama, I love you. Stop. Two-tooth monster. No. Stop.
And just in case it's unclear for the record, there are occasionally periods where Ms. Zayas is speaking with her daughter, Anya, and so if there are breaks in the record that don't seem to be responsive, the record should reflect that she is taking care of Anya periodically. So if your parental rights to Amaya are terminated, what impact do you think that will have on Amaya?
I think that Amanda already told her that I'm going to have my rights terminated. And that's why she's been mad at me for the last few visits, because she thinks that I'm not doing anything, because Amanda probably tells her everything, which is weird because I'm not allowed to tell her. But yeah, that'd be weird, because I would have it all on audio and I would just let her listen to why. And then she'd be like, what are they talking about? Like candy? Like, are you kidding me? This is why? Yeah, she wouldn't be too happy.
You say Amaya's been mad at you for the last few visits. Has Amaya said why she's mad?
We're not allowed to talk about anything that would make her sad or mad. We're only allowed to talk about things that are positive. And so anything that would make her cry or anything that would make her sad or any reference to my home is not allowed during visits.
If she's appeared to be mad to you, if it has appeared to you during visits that Amaya is mad with you, have you asked her, are you mad with me?
No, she doesn't tell me, but basically the things that she does, say and that I say, I could tell that she is obviously getting a different story from somewhere else, just because when I say certain things, she just completely disregards it, because I think that she's getting a different story from somewhere else, and I don't know what the story is. So I just kind of, I don't really push it, but she reminds me of, the bond that we have, and it's not easy to be broken. I think that no matter what people tell her, she's not going to be like, I don't know if she doesn't understand what's going on. She doesn't understand anything. She doesn't even know why I wouldn't want her in that school or anything. She just knows that she's never met her older brother and her older sister, and she remembers watching them on video when she was a kid. And she knows that part because I've always kind of told her what happened with them. So I think that right now she feels like I guess she's in their position, but it's a little different now because she's alone and she doesn't have any siblings with her. She's traumatized.
So if you saw that Amaya was mad in the last couple of visits, have you asked her about how she's feeling?
I'm going to tell you the truth. I think she wants to brush her hair really bad, and she hasn't had a brush in 2 years. A hairbrush. She's not allowed to have a hairbrush. So I think that's what she really wants to do, but she's not allowed to say that either, because she's not allowed to have a hairbrush or wash her hair or do anything with her own hair that she used to do when she was with me. So maybe she thinks I want to brush her hair or something, and I don't know what she thinks. Because I used to always try to fix it, but now I don't do that anymore either.
Well, you say you don't know what she thinks. Have you asked her?
No, but I could tell just by, like when I say things like, don't worry, you'll be home soon or whatever, she just kind of like looks at me like I'm crazy, like, and then I see what Amanda's telling her and stuff. So I just, Amanda told her that she won't be home for a few years. And that was a few months ago. But also she makes future plans that are like way in the future. So she's pretty much confident that she's going to still be there for a long time. And I think that makes Amaya upset at me because she's like, what the, you're supposed to be doing something. But Amaya doesn't know the real issue. She doesn't understand, the world around her and how it works and stuff. And I think when she gets older, of course, none of my kids remember when they were this young, so I'm glad that she's not going to remember any of this, I hope. But when she gets older, she can understand it fully. But right now, she's too young, and I don't want to, But that doesn't mean I'm going to submit to your demands and do what you want just because you think you can dangle my child in my face and I'm going to do what you say. That's what I'm not going to do. There's a reason, and when she gets older, she'll understand that my mom did this for a reason. And it's not because it has nothing to do with us in this court hearing. It's way, like, far outside of our... You want some?
What impact do you think it will have on Amaya if your rights are terminated?
The termination to me right now, after I, talked about that yesterday, I thought, they're right. I'm probably going to be stuck here no matter what. So the threat of termination is just a way that you guys try to get people to do what you want. It's not. Termination is only permanent and damaging when the parent disappears and leaves the child for dead. But when the parent is there and active, a termination is just a way of, haha, look, we're going to do this and you better do what we say kind of thing, like a little torture tactic. But yeah, it's only detrimental when the parent just disappears on their child. And that's unfortunate because you guys are successful in doing that so much that, and with that statute, saying that a parent's not there, you're going to have to pay all those parents back that you terminated their rights using that statute. They're going to have to take all those people and pay them for that. That's sad. What do you want? What do you want? You want some? Yeah.
If your parental rights are terminated, what impact do you think that will have on Amaya?
Honestly, I don't think she'll even know it happened because you won't be able to take me from her. I'll still be able to see her because I'll just appeal and we'll still be sitting here. I mean, there's no like impact because you guys don't tell her anything, so it doesn't matter. What matters is this. Even if I don't have my rights terminated, I'm still stuck here. That's the bad part. That's the part that if I were you, I would be worried about me staying in this position. I would be so worried. So worried. But that's just me. I mean, if you like me being here, then hey. If I, knew that you guys like had this kind of power, I would have sued all the judges on day one. Just because. Just for not helping me. And these people are corrupt.
What if your parental rights are terminated and you appeal and you lose the appeal? What impact do you think that will have on Amaya?
I will sue every single judge in the Supreme Court if that happens. Even the ones that don't have anything to do with it, just for assisting their coworkers in being mentally retarded. I would go down in history as the poorest parent to sue that many judges. And that would suck for them because they support this and they know. And for all the judges who ever ruled that a parent is not there and the parent is right there in their courtroom, they should be fired. They should be taken out of their seat because they don't deserve to be voted in and say that a parent's not there when a parent's sitting right there in their face. That should be a crime. Mama, watch out, baby.
Okay, but if your parental rights are terminated and you lose the appeal, what do you think the impact of that will be on Amaya?
We will just be, you know what? I visited my other kids for 6 years. It was to the point where I was taking them for weekend visits after a while. I used to take my kids for the weekend and then bring them back to a foster home on Monday every week, but they still wouldn't let me keep my kids in my, you know what I mean? Like I got to that point where I was taking them for days at a time, but still wasn't good enough because my social worker was Black and she hated my guts. No, don't eat that.
All right. You said that you hate the department. Is there something that the department could do, change their approach in some way that would make you more agreeable to cooperate around doing services?
No, because it's racism. They don't do this to Black people. So no, there's nothing they could do. No. Maybe in criminal court it's different, but in family court, they focus on white children for adoption, forced adoptions. If the reason was credible, but it's not, you guys, you don't test for marijuana. It's okay for people to be high, just as long as you make money from it. But then if they're not high on the drugs that you supply, then you take their kids. Don't make no sense.
All right, thank you. I don't have any other questions.
Ms. Cowan, just one second. I need to make a note and then.
Ms. Zayas, are you aware that the floor in the room where Amaya sleeps is carpeted? Are you aware if that's true or not?
No, but I assumed that it wasn't because they dropped the baby on the floor and that was a hardwood floor. They dropped Anya on the floor.
So you're not aware of what type of flooring is in the room where Amaya sleeps at the foster parents' home currently?
No, I asked them to separate her from her sister this week. I asked them to do the same thing a few months ago. And because they fight a lot, so I've been asking them to make them sleep in separate rooms. And they have not ever done that. They just left her in there. So even after she dropped her on the concrete. And yeah, no, I don't know. I just know that they had a bunk bed and they don't have a bunk bed anymore. But and that her sister sleeps in the same bed with her sometimes. It's not her choice, but she just sleeps in her bed. I don't know why, but yeah.
You were asked a number of questions about the first dependency with Amaya. Mr. LaRoste asked you about parent coaching. You did do the parent coaching with Dory. Is it Gooderson? Does that name ring a bell to you?
I never did the parent coaching.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't do the parent. They came into my house and told me that I wasn't doing things right. But as far as parent coaching, I think that is like every day where they come in for a long time, right?
Well, your declaration in Exhibit 3 says you completed parent coaching with Dory Gooderson. So I just wanted to confirm, is that correct or not?
They came once a week and told me that I wasn't feeding her right. So if that counts for parent coaching, then I didn't complete it because my lawyer just kind of got frustrated and demanded that it be ended because it was 2.5 years and 3 ways a week, which is awkward, but yeah.
And then you also did the PCAP program in that case as well, the first dependency with Amaya, correct? The Parent-Child Assistance Program through the University of Washington?
Yes, and she thought that I don't qualify for PCAP this time because I was never on drugs, so they said I can't do it. And I even said, but they think I'm on drugs. And they said, yeah, but if it's your medication, then you can't do PCAP. So I tried to get them. I tried. They said they can't help me unless I'm an admitted willing. I have to say I am on drugs, even if I'm not on drugs, and I have to be willing to change, is what they said.
But so are you saying you thought that PCAP was beneficial in Amaya's first dependency?
No, this was the second one. No, actually, the first dependency, I would say the PCAP was part of the reason that Amaya wasn't taken a few times after the dependency, because I continued working with PCAP because I needed a ride to the grocery store and I didn't have a car. So the lady came and took me grocery shopping every month. And at one point, CPS came back again for, I don't remember what it was, but no, a dirty diaper. Yeah. And they came to my house and the PCAP worker was like, they called her and she's like, nothing's wrong. What do you want? And so they left me alone. But first they interviewed my daughter at the daycare. They showed up at the daycare because what happened was Amaya came home with me and they marked the diaper, like with a mark or something. And we went swimming when she got home. So I took the diaper off. We went to bed and she woke up in her swimsuit. I put the diaper back on, the same one. And so she went to the daycare with the same diaper on that was dry. So they called CPS and said, oh my God, she is dehydrated, something's wrong, blah, blah, blah. So they came that day and like freaked out, but no, they're stalkers.
So it sounds like you found PCAP to be somewhat beneficial in the first dependency. Is that correct?
I consider them CPS. I consider anybody who assists CPS. So that dependency was a crime.
And then in the first dependency with Amaya, you also did the intensive outpatient through RCKC to the Recovery Centers of King County. Is that correct?
Are parties ready to go on that one?
Good morning, Your Honor. Dennis Schroeder on behalf of Nicholas Smith, who's the respondent and, the first moving party. So,
okay, thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor. Cameron Buell.
Mr. Buell's mic is on.
And I'll take this opportunity, Your Honor. I forgot to do this earlier, but I do want to reiterate my standing objection to hearsay for any comments made by Ms. Hayes that do contain hearsay, because if I try to interrupt each time, it'll just take forever.
Okay, so are you objecting to hearsay for this particular answer? That was a long time ago. So if make your objection again, please. Okay,
I'm sorry. I believe that I had previously during her testimony on a prior day inserted or made an objection, a standing objection to hearsay statements contained in the testimony of in her responses. And I just wanted to reiterate that standing objection.
So are you asking the court to disregard every hearsay statement she's made today, yesterday, and the day before? That's going to be tough.
I am, and I apologize because I thought that I had made that standing objection previously. And
well, you may have, Mr. LaRosse, but we've had about 6 different portions of Ms. Zayas's testimony. And you have also elicited hearsay from other witnesses, and everybody's been eliciting hearsay like crazy in this trial. Yesterday was a hearsay fiesta. And so I don't know when there's an objection to hearsay or not. So you're only objecting to Ms. Zayas's hearsay and you're not objecting to anybody else's hearsay?
Your Honor, at this point, it's my job to address her testimony at this time. Okay. And because she's making such a number of hearsay statements, if I attempt to get all the witnesses in necessary to rebut those statements, this trial will take another month. And so I guess I can object piecemeal to each individual statement going forward.
I think you'll need to. So let me just make sure that we're clear. Because I remember you making a standing objection at some point. But do you understand the difficulty that the court has? Because there's maybe some statements that you wouldn't object to. And again, yesterday, Ms. Ramos testified to a bunch of hearsay. Ms. Johnston-Hanks testified to a bunch of hearsay. And so there was no objection. So I'm going to consider those for the truth, albeit weigh them differently because the reliability of them in the court's view is less because they're hearsay and they may or may not be corroborated. I will do the same with Ms. Zayas's, but if you want me to disregard a particular statement that she's making, I would like for you to point that out to me, because there's been a lot of time since that initial standing objection. And you, Mr. LaRosse, have elicited hearsay from Ms. Zayas. So it's hard for me to discern which you want in and which you didn't when you elicit hearsay from her. Does that make sense?
I understand what you're saying. Maybe I can wave my hand and also say objection, because sometimes it's hard to interrupt the stream of testimony.
That would be...
No, what about you protect my civil rights like you're supposed to, and just, knock it all out, because they're all felonies. You see the felony, you see the forgery, you see the perjury. You don't do anything about that. So, I mean, everything, all these rules you guys keep coming up with are just contradicting, because you go one way, but you don't go the other way. What you should do is throw the whole case out and give me my child back, because you weren't supposed to take her in the first place. That's a crime. When the Supreme Court found out that CPS didn't make reasonable efforts to prevent the removal, guess what happens? They give the kids back. But I didn't get my kids back, and they didn't make reasonable efforts. They all know. Judge Ramsayer knows. Judges are the reason this corruption continues.
Thank you, Ms. Zayas. All right, go ahead, Ms. Cowan. So let's back up. What statement are you asking the court to strike, Mr. LaRosse, for hearsay?
The statement from PCAP that they can't help Ms. Zayas unless she admits she's on drugs and willing to change.
Okay. Ms. Cowan, any response to Mr. LaRosse's objection?
I defer to the court, Your Honor.
Okay, the court will strike that statement.
Ms. Zayas, I was asking you about your work at R.C. Casey, Recovery Centers of King County, and you were successful in doing some intensive outpatient there, correct? I
was a victim of a crime committed by a state official who thought she had jurisdiction over my fetus. I graduated treatment 2 times, and they still harassed me for possession of Amaya when she was born. They said that I would not get Amaya, and I did. I took her home, but I had to sign a contract to take her home, or I thought I did at the time. And then I was harassed for 2 years unlawfully, without warrant, without anything. I wouldn't even have been thinking about drugs at that time. I was working. I was doing my own thing. I wasn't even worried about what they were talking about, but they kept talking about it. Like, I shouldn't have even been talking about drugs. Can I move on with my life? Can I ever move on with my life? Because the only person who keeps talking about drugs is CPS. Like, they want drugs. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. Sometimes when people abstain from doing things, that's how they stop. They don't stop by continuing to talk about it. And you guys are like always in my face and talking about the same thing like over and over again. It's like, I wasn't even thinking about it until you said something. And now I'm like, what the heck what am I doing here? Why am I in treatment and I haven't used in 3 years? You know what I mean? No, sorry. You guys, what you do is you bring misery intentionally, and then you're like, oh, but please, don't you want to get help? And it's like, nobody even needed help until you got inside of their lives. Now they need help, because you traumatized them, took their children, and that's what the trauma is from. Your actions, not from drugs, that's for sure.
So did you do sober support meetings and AA meetings?
Did your husband do those when he was caught with marijuana a couple of years ago in Pennsylvania?
Ms. Zayas, I'm asking you if you did sober supports.
You smoke marijuana. So why are you? I'm sure he didn't stop smoking marijuana, did he?
You didn't file a lot of legal pleadings or file lawsuits in the first dependency, but you're doing it in this dependency. Can you explain why?
Because I did not know my rights. I would have sued the first judge. I would have slaughtered him if I knew what to do. I had no idea I could do it by myself. And it's really fun, actually.
In terms of your medication, I thought I saw something in Dr. Tutty's evaluation. I just wanted to clarify. Do you have, were you on medication for seizures when you were a child?
No.
Is the medication that you were on was for bipolar diagnosis when you were diagnosed with bipolar?
I was never diagnosed with bipolar. I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, it might be someone else you're talking about.
What do you think that you've done in this case to help you reunify with Amaya?
Well, I'm suing the FBI tomorrow. That's my final, and the Kent police, they're going to be sued too. This weekend is law enforcement weekend. I'm going to do all the cops and detectives that didn't help me. Mama, what are you singing for? I love you. What? Oh, come here. I know. Come here. Can I sing? You want to hear? She's like, why are you talking to them and not me? Come here. Here, look it. Come here. I got something for you. I got something for you right here. Look. See? Ooh. Yeah, here. Come on. Oh, come here. Mama, can I hold you? Come here. I get you. Oh, come here. You want some water? Here. Fizzy water. Fizzy water? Come on. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
She doesn't.
Oh, go. I'm
Go
sorry,
ahead.
Miss S. Are you settled? Can Ms. Cowan continue, or you need a minute?
Yeah, she just doesn't like when I'm talking on this thing. She thinks that I'm talking to somebody and doesn't understand why I'm not talking and playing with her, I guess.
Yes, understood. Go ahead, Ms. Cowan.
Ms. Ayers, what do you think Amaya's needs are in terms of her emotional needs?
I think she needs to come home because it's been a long time and she's starting to lose hope. She doesn't understand why. I have a baby with me and my son with me, and she's not with me. She is the one who's always suffered and she cried every day for a long time, and she needs to come home.
Do you think that it was helpful to Amaya for you to tell her that she was being kidnapped by CPS?
Do you know that they didn't tell her anything? She said, Mom, when are you coming to pick me up? 5-year-olds don't have a sense of humor. You know that, right? They don't have a sense of humor. They're dead serious when they say what they say. She said, when are you coming to pick me up? That means nobody told her anything. For weeks, she thought I abandoned her. So yeah, I told her she was kidnapped because she was kidnapped. It was illegal what they did.
There was a note from Jody Davis that you said you needed Marcel to remind you that Anya was in the car. Is that correct?
No, I actually set my alarm to do that for me. I didn't need him to do it. I think she got the story mixed up. What it was is I set an alarm on my phone to remind me that, because I read this thing on the Oprah show. It was like in a magazine or something, that this lady went to work and she left her kid in the car and the kid died. And I was like I was driving for so long, for a while, from here to Bellevue, and I had, I'm taking Seroquel, and it makes me really tired. So I thought, driving for so long and having a small little baby in the car that was so quiet, I set my alarm to remind me that she was in the car so I could get her out the car. Not leave her in the car.
Go ahead.
I missed a word. Ms. Zayas said she's taking something and it makes her sleepy, but I couldn't. Seroquel. Okay, thank you.
Okay, and referring back to, one moment. Referring back to the guardian ad litem, Pauline Duke, is it your testimony that you've never spoken to Miss Duke?
No, it's my testimony that she never spoke to Amaya.
So you do recall speaking to Miss Duke?
I don't know if that was her or not, but somebody called me and told me they were the CASA. Not sure.
Okay.
It didn't sound like her. From the recordings I got from the trial where she was saying I had holes in my brain, she sounded like a totally different person at trial.
Okay. Do you recall speaking with Miss Duke by phone on 2 occasions in September 2020?
It's just one time, yeah.
And did you receive an email from me through the CASA program to set up a time to speak with the current CASA, Brianna Johnston Hanks?
Yeah, and I told you guys to go jump off a cliff, and I'm not ever talking to you. And I mean it.
When Anya was placed with Amaya's foster parents, you are working with the CPS social worker, Julie Draper, correct?
Yes.
And did you find your work with Ms. Draper helpful to you?
After reading what she wrote, I'll have to say no. But before reading what she wrote, I did, until I read what she wrote. Now I don't like her anymore.
In what ways did you find her helpful?
She gave me my kid back when she was supposed to.
Okay, but you did services in coordination with Ms. Draper, correct?
No, I just went pee, that's all. I didn't do services.
Well, but you worked with a public health nurse and you worked with a doula in your home, correct?
Yes, but she said that didn't matter in my case. And she said that it wouldn't count for anything that in Amaya's case or Anya's case, because I don't know, something about, it's the law that they have to have public health nurses coming to visit everybody now after a baby's born. I read it in the law. It's like a law that I don't know, something weird like that. She said it wouldn't count for me, that these services were just, not the doula, but the public health nurse was something that I guess all parents do. And plus, she said that, she said it wouldn't count for me for Amaya or Anya because I didn't have a case with Anya and it didn't matter. So yeah, she gave me Anya that. I don't think that, I think they would have taken Anya if they would have known I was giving birth.
How often did you meet with Ms. Draper?
Just like 4 or 5 times.
She came to your house?
Yeah, and it's weird, like how I gave you guys my kid and I got her back in like a week or 2, but now you've had Amaya for 2.5 years. And I could get one kid back real fast, but the other kid you still want to hold on to for some reason. And I don't understand that.
In terms of your release of information, you signed one for the Department of Public Defense investigator, but you didn't sign one for the Department social worker. Can you explain why?
Because they're corrupt and they were trained by Black people, and those Black people trained them to torture me, and they use everything that I give them as ammo. They have nothing really, right? So they have nothing. Then they take these old reports from 2014 like David does and, annihilates them and says, oh, well, this is what we have. And really they don't have anything, but they dig out little dumb stuff from their mental health, especially mental health. And so I realized that, and I say, I'm not giving them anything. It's not when I sit there and I watch my friends who are African American and they do not have this problem at all. Like they don't even have monitored visits or anything, and they go to jail and everything. And I just like, yeah, no, I'm not doing it, buddy. Like I'm not gonna play that game. And
Yes, Mr. Wilson.